An earnings alert for you. Ford Motor beating the street today, posting a 44% surge in second quarter profit. The report comes ahead of the company's highly anticipated release of its F-150 limited edition that's testing the upper limits of what customers will typically pay for a pickup truck. We are getting new details today from Ford Motor's Executive Vice President and CFO Bob Shanks. Bob, great to have you here. Good to see you. Congrats on the quarter.
Thanks. It's great to be here, and it was an outstanding quarter. I'm really looking forward to talking about it.
All right. So what fueled this 44% jump in second quarter profit?
Well, I would highlight three things. One, North America. North America had a record profit for any quarter. Secondly, I would highlight our Ford Credit operation, which earned over $500 million. And then thirdly, I would note Asia Pacific, which had a record for the second quarter, and a lot of that driven by China. So we had a number of bright spots, and even in Europe, which was near break even, I highlight that because we are on the path to profitability, and it did allow all the good news from the other regions to flow through to the bottom line.
You mentioned China being a highlight for you guys. Globally, as you go around the world and we contemplate just exactly what kind of situation we're in, whether it be in Europe, where they're dealing with a significant debt crisis and slowdown there, or whether it be China, where every day we're getting news of more problems there. Where do you see potentially that weakness coming from?
Well, in terms of China, in China we see still a strong GDP growth of probably about 7%. But in our industry, what we're seeing is the fact that the government is making a transition from an economy that was more export-oriented, investment-focused, to one that's more focused on the consumer services. And so there's going to be some road bumps along the way. Clearly, we're seeing some volatility, the stock market issues affecting consumer confidence. But overall, we do expect longer term that we're going to see very strong growth overall in the economy, but also the industry in China.
All right, well, we hope you're right there on China, because that's been very much in focus for investors as of late. Let me move on to the F-150. The cost of it, pretty significant, for a pickup truck. What is it that makes this pickup truck so much more special that people would be willing to shell out in the vicinity of $60K?
Well, we have a broad range of offerings on F-150, so we can go in from the mid-20s all the way up to this new Limited, which will be coming out this winter. And one of the things that we certainly see is consumers love their pickups. And so there's a lot of people that want to have the ones that are more with more content, more feature, from the Lariat all the way up to this Limited that we just announced.
I understand you've even got massaging seats in that one, so lots of little tricks on that pickup. Finally, before I let you go, Fiat Chrysler has been in the news with a big recall, 1.4 million vehicles that are vulnerable to hacking. That's the concern there. Wired magazine was able to hack into these vehicles, and it's a real concern right now as we see this transition into the connected car. People are wondering whether those systems are vulnerable, and Bob, whether or not they're going to be safe.
Yeah, and that's a legitimate concern. I mean, and we're very much focused both on the safety aspect and also the privacy of the data of our consumers. Now, we happen to have a different hardware architecture than the Chrysler system. Our software is different, but we're clearly interested in learning whatever we can about the issues that they face to make sure that the robustness of our system, which we think is there, if it can be enhanced, we're certainly going to do that.
Bob Shanks, good to see you. Thanks for joining the Intelligence Report today.
Thanks, Trish.